Hello, I'm Richard Jack Smith of Real Talk Movie Reviews. Beavis and Butthead Do America. Now I have to admit I have never seen the film, so it was a surprise to learn that composer John Frizzell, a composer whose work impressed me so much on Alien Resurrection, especially the opening for 13 Ghosts, not forgetting of course Gods and Generals, had worked on this film. I was never a fan of the humour in Beavis and Butthead, so I kind of avoided the film at all costs. But I have to say, upon listening to this music, which is big and orchestral and rather dynamic, considering the origins of this MTV metalhead duo, it was quite a surprise. Now, if it strikes you, as it did me, that this approach, this bombastic orchestral treatment, was inappropriate for the characters, that's exactly what creator Mike Judge and Frizzell were going for. They wanted, according to the liner notes, their idea behind this was that the music wouldn't be in on the joke, much like how Elmer Bernstein's work on Airplane and Animal House did a similar thing. I was also thinking of Ira Newborn's work on The Naked Gun, which, although it is quite, light on its feet, does have an ultra serious edge to it. And so there are some fascinating colours to this, the timpani and brass for the more nefarious element in the story. The whole thing is based upon the idea that somebody has stolen Beavis and Butthead's television set and they want it back. Make of that what you will. So this film did quite well back in the day. It grossed over $60 million on a $12 million budget. So if you take the average that a film has to make 2.5 times its budget, well, this was well over that, so it was quite a profit for Paramount. Interestingly, most of the score was orchestrated by Emily Bernstein, who was Elmer Bernstein's daughter. So she had a huge input on this, and again, Frizzell, who very much came under the aegis of Bernstein and his mentor James Newton Howard, branched into the mainstream scoring stage during the mid-90s, and although he's not as widely heard these days, he's kind of fallen off the radar a little, there is talk that there's going to be a sequel to Beavis and Butthead Do America. It's going under the title Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. And knowing that Frizzell's going to be involved, and if it's anything like this effort, I'll definitely want to hear it, maybe even see it. I have to say, his orchestral score for Beavis and Butthead Do America makes me want to see the film now, even though, like I say, I find them a bit cringe, the comedians of Beavis and Butthead, and they're kind of like very sort of like, all that chortling and stuff. Just isn't quite really my thing, but hey, whatever, I'll give it a go. I'm quite open-minded about things, I find. The approach to this varies quite drastically. It starts very kind of small in Buck Kong, which is the very first track, and then its explosion of orchestral fireworks, and it sticks quite close to that formula, I would say, for the duration. There are some lighter pieces. Apparently Frizzell wrote one of the sappiest pieces that he could come up with for one particular moment, and his idea was to make this as big as he possibly could, and there was a huge brass centre, a bass for this. Very impressive stuff. It's not quite on the level of a score that I reviewed recently, Heavy Metal 2000 by Frederick Talgorn, which completely blew my socks off. It's not in that level of brilliance, but it's still quite an impressive score, and there's over 30 minutes of music here containing some unreleased cues and alternates, which rounds out a very tidy collection of themes. It's not what you expect it's going to sound like if you've seen this TV series, and like I say, but that was part of their thinking. Going onto the big screen, they wanted this to be a much larger canvas. you have to kind of admire the risk they took there, because you know, if they just wanted to do something kind of AC/DC like the show, then might possibly alienate those who like that approach more than something classical and I guess you could say old-fashioned. Although I do like a good symphonic score, no matter how old-fashioned others may feel it, or dramatic or depressing they think it is, because there are many layers to a score, not just whether it's dramatic or depressing. Overall, Beavis and Butt-Head Do America is an accomplished score. There are some fine contrasts, which Frizzell gets the balance quite right. There's never any pacing problems. There's never something that really sticks out like a sore thumb. You think, oh, that's maybe... And especially getting back to that first track, Butt Kong, you know, there's a high bit with the violins. At one point I thought, oh, Alex North would be most appreciative of that, given how daring and avant-garde his orchestrations were throughout his career. And Beavis and Butt-Head Do America is a surprising entry in a composer's canon which combines many different ideas and techniques. I was quite surprised by it, and I think you might enjoy it. I would give Beavis and Butt-Head Do America 4 out of 5 stars. Frizzell's work absolutely sizzles here, and he maintains great tonality, pacing, counterpoint, and atmosphere. For more film and soundtrack reviews, please visit Betty Jo Tucker's website, Real Talk Movie Reviews. On Facebook you can find my pages, Hip-Notic Movie Reviews and Hip-Notic Soundtrack Reviews. I am Richard Jack Smith, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.